first time she drove to Slidell with Melissa, my wife's a little bit more nervous. They were driving Melissa's car before she got her license. And they had cars in both lanes, the other lane, but they had a guy on a bicycle going up that bridge over Pearl River. Yeah. Which is already a tight, feels tight. So I always
Reading this
tell them, I
letter?
said, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I said,
Okay.
every time I cross this bridge,
Get
you'll
this
notice
food.
if I can get in the left lane, I go to the
This
center.
Cool. 135.
I have
That's
phobia
awesome.
by driving off the side.
That's
Just this
bad.
fear of like, I feel like I'm going off the side. You know? It scares me. I'm like, just go to the center.
You don't have any ball games tonight, do you?
No, had ball games last night and Thursday night. No Tuesday nights this week.
Well, that's what I told her, if you come off with 40, off the interstate on 49 going south. So,
We got much on the
Eastbound
agenda, we ought not be here long enough.
Nuh-uh. You did it. You just messed us up. I was just asking to see if anybody has anywhere to go. We're busted.
I know, right?
just worry
You
about
just
getting
did us
in.
in.
That's
I said,
crazy.
worst case scenario,
crazy,
you gotta
crazy.
take a right turn because it forces you right. Go here, take that left, and go through the Hooters parking lot. The Holiday Inn.
Just party on the
We did
road.
that one time, I was like, stay where you are.
Popeye's
I'll
waiting
show
on
you
me.
this route.
I got red beans
Less
on the
risk.
stove.
Said, we don't take risks.
Get us rolling, Mr. Gary.
All right, ready? Over that one lane, just go one lane of traffic.
Ready? All right, we'll call the order, let's see, the May 6th, 2025 City Council meeting. First thing is, Jeffrey, you want to read us the invocation?
Yes, we will. Let's pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now, Father, today as we stand here in the seat of the city of this government of Bay St. Louis, Father, we are thanking you down through the years, and Father, for the years ahead, for how kind and how good and how gracious you've been to us as a city and us as citizenry. Father, we ask that you will continue your grace and your favor upon our life. Father, let this city stand and let it display your favor and let it display your wisdom and let it display your insight and your comprehension. The same with this council, the same with this administration. We ask and we decree this in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's see, a couple of announcements. May 14th, 2025 memorial service for fallen officers. May 20th will be the next council meeting, and June 3rd, 2025 will be the general election. Let's see, we've got a couple proclamations. Millie Brignoni, powerlifting. Don't hurt me. Y'all can.
First off, congratulations. I know you just got started. That's pretty awesome. First time and everything. So whereas Bay High Lady Tiger Molly Brignoni has achieved remarkable success by winning the 148-pound weight class powerlifting state championship, demonstrating extraordinary strength with a 265-pound squat, 100-pound bench press, and a very impressive 305-pound deadlift. And whereas this outstanding accomplishment testament to your hard work, dedication, perseverance, and whereas the city of Bay St. Louis proudly celebrates this milestone and extends its full support and best wishes for continued success. Now therefore, I, Michael J. Fall, Mayor of the City of Bay St. Louis, along with the City Council, do hereby extend our heartfelt congratulations to Bay High Lady Tiger Molly Brignoni for her powerlifting state championship title. Commend her for bringing pride and inspiration.
He's blocking.
Doug,
Bucky.
okay.
That
There
big
you go,
head.
Doug.
That big head.
Congratulations.
Hi, Buck.
Thank you.
Let's see, next guest, proclamation, National Safe Boating Week. Y'all, come on up.
Whereas the vast majority of boating accidents are caused by human error, poor judgment, and lack of an awareness of recreational boating safety regulations. Whereas the United States Coast Guard actively promotes and supports all aspects of the United States Coast Guard recreational boating safety program, and whereas the Friends of the Coast Wake and Buoys Foundation are dedicated advocates for the principle of boating safety. Now therefore, I, Michael J. Fall, Mayor of the City of Bay St. Louis, along with the City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17th through May 25th, 2025 National Safe Boating Week. I encourage all citizens, organizations, and media to recognize and learn more about boat safety.
I'd also like to,
Could have helped you.
fact of the matter is, we wouldn't be here. The Coast Guard Auxiliary wouldn't be here today if it were not for the local nonprofit Coastal Wake Buoy Organization. We didn't know about them. They came to us. We're working on a program to bring boating safety classes, Boat America, the Coast Guard Boat America boating safety classes to Bay St. Louis this coming June. So many thanks, and we do have two representatives. You can do a photograph, you guys. Be in the photograph, okay?
Yeah, we're dedicated to boat safety, and, we're gonna help these guys fill up the classes and get some people certified.
Outstanding.
So,
Sounds good.
They also got a big event coming.
on May 17th, we'll be doing, Wake Coast, which is, formed this year, this is our second year to do it. And our funds go towards, boating education and, helping pay for classes and putting the word out for boating safety.
Okay.
So what's the name of your,
Coastal Wake and Buoys.
okay, yeah, we're just in the crawfish cook-off. Yes, okay.
All right, let's get a picture.
A lot of people don't really know what the auxiliary is all about. Know the Coast Guard certainly, I'm sure. The auxiliary is the uniformed civilian component of the Coast Guard. While we do a lot of augmentation of active service positions, our primary responsibility locally is the promotion of recreational boating safety. So you can imagine, they found us, we found them. It's something I think that could be an exciting opportunity for both groups. In response to recreational boating safety, we do several things. Boating safety classes, certainly. We offer annual vessel safety checks for boat owners to help them or assist them in ensuring the boat, the equipment, their boat and their equipment meets federal and state boating safety requirements. We also do underwater safety patrols, underway safety patrols. We don't have to just to assist recreational boaters who are in distress. And we participate in public forums such as this to help to create an awareness of who we are. So on behalf of the Coast Guard, the National Safety Boating Council, I want to thank you all for your support of the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary and our recreational boating safety.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You wanna come up and we'll get a picture?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know.
Okay, and next guest is, Miss Anita Warner.
Anita Warner on behalf of the Bay Waveland Garden Club and the Beautification Committee for the Chamber. I wanted to give y'all an update on the Pocket Park. We started several months ago, and since then we have taken out all the dead plants. We have put in new soil, and thanks to the city very much and to the Public Works Department, because they now added the water that we asked for, water lines. They did that. They replaced the boards on the statue. We have now put in soaker hoses and a timer so that we can keep things going. And we have installed 2 little gem magnolias. They look like the big ones, but they stay small. We have tea olive, some azaleas, 3 camellia sasanqua yuletide, which are beautiful plants. Those came from Don Batson up in Parkinston. He donates to us every year. We have put in 12 different roses, and these are antique heirloom roses, the ones that actually have a smell. So they're really, and they're very hardy. And we also put in Peggy Martin. And for, if you've been around town in the last several weeks and you saw all those roses all over everybody's yards and fences, that's what, it's called the Katrina Rose, because it's the only thing that survived down in Blackman Parish. We have also replaced, there was only one concrete bench. We found a matching concrete bench. And now we are in the process of getting plant markers so that this will also, when anyone goes in there, they will be able to see what the plant is. What kind of rose is that? What is that? So they'll have both the common name and the Latin name. And all of that together, the Garden Club, which is a 501c3 organization, we have raised money. We've had money donated to us. We've spent over $1,700 on the Pocket Park. Now, the only thing left, we are going to maintain the plants, no problem. The bank was maintaining the whole thing in the past. They have now withdrawn. They said, it's all yours, you do whatever. So all we need is for the city to cut the grass. So with respect to that, it's gonna look a whole lot better, and some point later on this year, we're gonna have a ribbon cutting, and we would love for all of you to come.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mike, you able to get the Public Works to go over there and mow the grass?
We'll see how much Lombardo would charge.
What's that?
No, we'll see what Lombardo would charge to do it.
The weed eater.
Yeah, little.
Or whatever.
The whole park is 20 by 70, so it's not a whole, you know, you could take a push mower in there. Yeah, there's not that much grass, but that's the only thing left. We'll take care of the plants. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. Let's see, so we have, what's the update on the planning and zoning? Let's see, we have a letter here, they're not gonna be here.
Man, it's the same thing, they didn't, you know, they don't meet all the variants or any of the variances, whatever, but it fits the neighborhood, you know, as we stated. Yeah, I don't think we gave a variance in the last 4 years or whatever to someone that met all of the variances that's required.
Well, I guess my biggest thing is, I think based on what weight do we hold on the administration recommending? Whether
Well, it's no different than what we've been recommending throughout the years.
Right.
You know, I don't know why this came up all of a sudden, but
That's
you
not,
take,
but if I could finish, there's 4 recommendations here that would point towards approval. House is already constructed. It is common for dwelling in Old Town Bay centers to have less than 20-foot rear yards. House backs up to Manor Park Apartments. Property owner is adding living space to the rear house. Those would lead me to believe, okay, approval is what the motion would go to, but then we have no hardship is present and the administration recommends denial. So at what basis are we making, is administration making those recommendations?
It would be off of your zoning ordinance section 1305.3, which is variances.
Right, and then it
And
goes into the hardships, I get that.
Yes,
right?
but it does not, your ordinance does not say that the majority of, or some of, or all of, or it does say all of those elements have to be met. Not 1, not 2, not
Right.
3, all of them. I think it's,
So are we making just,
A
so is it
through-
just be a broad swath, if administration, if it doesn't meet all of the hardships based on what we have in our ordinance, it's gonna be recommending denial? Cause I wanna be locked step with, I don't wanna have any, I mean, we wanna make sure that we coincide with the recommendation.
I mean, we made these same recommendations on other variances, you know, throughout time. But, you know, the council ends up making the decision that they feel that is best. It's no different than giving variances to a duplex on State Street after allowing
So it
the
makes-
lot to be split.
so it makes
I
the
mean, there was no
recommendation
hardship there.
It makes it redundant then. So let's
Yeah.
just go off of what the hardship is, and we know that probably most requests for a variance is not gonna meet every single one of those hardships, so why do we have a recommendation from administration then? Cause we know if that's gonna be
so
the fallback.
Kyle, the administration is following your zoning ordinance. I believe that your zoning ordinance, I think this is one section that when you rewrite your zoning ordinance needs to be looked at because
Well, they should be
it
done
is,
with that, right?
well, if I can finish, that is a section that needs to be looked at, but until you as a council change that, so if you would like to change your zoning ordinance that say a variance may be granted in such a case, unnecessary hardship upon finding by the city that most of the following occur, or that some are based off of the following, but right now, the way it says is that all of the following conditions exist. So do I think it should say that? Absolutely not, because I think it's nearly impossible for all of these items that are spelled out in your zoning ordinance. I mean, it is very rare situation that you're gonna find something that meets every one of those hardships. Do
Right,
I
is
think
this-
your zoning ordinance should say that? No, I think your zoning ordinance I think those things should be listed as reasons to present hardships.
Well, has this been, so we're about to approve Orion, I think they have their final stage in the neighborhood of $5,000 for the zoning ordinance. Have we had any feedback on that? Is that?
They
being
are
discussed?
rewriting your whole zoning ordinance, so
They
you're
might-
not gonna
yeah,
have
so-
this in your zoning
No,
ordinance
I get
at all.
that, but we're about to approve that last payment, but what dialogue have we had, well, maybe y'all have had that with Orion, but if we had that dialogue as a council saying, hey, these hardships, this set criteria, 98% of our requests that come to us doesn't meet that.
Yes,
I'm
that
asking
conversation has been had with Orion
So are we-
multiple times.
So Mike Russo, when are we getting that update? I've got a checklist of what they've done or kind of a percentage, but is this part of it? I guess we're kind of in the dark. I mean, we haven't been given an update by Orion either.
Right.
So,
I have a phone call meeting with them, a webinar, kind of meeting me and Jeremy tomorrow to go through their draft.
and this is
So
being
laying out,
discussed.
and they
that
have
we're-
some
we have
questions
two
for us.
streams.
This is one of the ones I wrote down, and we've mentioned it before, but I was like, it's one of my comments of this has to come up again to make sure we've addressed this. So it's on my notes for tomorrow's meeting.
So when are we finalizing the zoning, the Orion's final recommendation as to the zoning, citywide zoning ordinance?
I would say it's gonna be a few more months.
Few more months.
Mhm. I
And
mean,
then,
you're talking about a 175-page document that becomes law,
and then,
and then
as to
things
what
like
point
And
this
let me
will
clear,
we
a
be-
brand new
word.
document, because they're not taking your
Yeah.
document that you have and twisting it around. It's my understanding that this is a brand new
100%
spanking.
from scratch.
So there's a lot of, I mean, y'all know that, especially the ones of you that have been here. I mean, you can read one section of some of our zoning ordinance, and then you can turn around and read 3 pages later, and it completely contradicts itself, which is why it was recommended to do a complete zoning overhaul, which is what is being done. Included in that, going back, way back when, telling Orion, which I think some of that even came out of your comprehensive plan, is that special exceptions and variances are items that need to be looked at, because luckily we have not had many of that challenged, but if it would be very hard to make legal arguments based off of what your ordinance
Right,
is
every time,
currently.
well, yeah, every time we give a variance to, that goes against our hardship on our ordinance, they could lead it up to that. So, I mean, and I don't want to speak for the council, I'd love dialogue as well, but at what point, that's the first time hearing that that's being discussed. And so, again, I get back to the recommendation, is it redundant based on, everything doesn't meet the hardship, so the recommendation is deny. So, again, this is a dialogue, I'd love to hear from any other council.
Did you see the updated letter from Jeremy Burke, Kyle?
Yeah, it's administration recommends denial of the variance.
No, no, the last letter that he sent, that we have hard copies of here, the last paragraph says, the administration recommendation was strictly based on the absence of hardship as stipulated in the zoning ordinance. However, considering the neighborhood's character, planning and zoning's unanimous approval, lack of public opposition, the applicant's willingness to be constructive, begin construction with plans in hand, there are adequate reasons for the city council to consider approving this request.
No, I have not seen that, because, again, I'm going off of what was posted, so.
Yeah, so that may be, it should be at your spot in front of you.
Yeah.
Just
When did this
the
come
letter that he
I just sat
gave
down and got it.
today, from Jeremy Burke, the zoning administrator, basically updating his position on, just from the denial that he initially gave.
So it's recommending approval based on this, but
Correct.
again, just sat down, got this. I'm going off of what's posted, so good information, Councilman Hoffman, to provide.
Yes, and then I think the applicant actually provided an email letter as well that gave some hardships in the sense that he's dealing with a couple of 80-year-old parents or family individuals that are going to be living with them that need access to the restrooms that currently aren't available because of small doorways, because the house was built in the 1930s and things of that nature.
Well, good, good. This is exactly what's needed.
What we
It
need,
gives a
right.
background. This is great.
Right. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So.
Just haven't had time to read through it.
Yes.
Don't wait on me. If you guys already had a chance to read through it, take me a couple minutes.
Go ahead and take your time, I didn't see it either. Mike, why didn't you just send this out?
This one, I just received it today.
You wanna move on and come back to it in a few minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to read through this. It's good, great information. This is wonderful, but I just need to read through it.
Okay, we'll come back to it. Let's see, city clerk's, let's see, oop, no. Mike, you got anything? Minute approval. Motion to approve minutes, April 23rd, 2025.
Motion.
Motion, Councilman Hoffman.
A second.
Second, Councilman Davis. Councilwoman Davis.
Good.
Any changes? No?
No change.
All right, vote to motion.
Aye.
Uh-huh.
Aye, motion carries 6-0. Mayor's report?
Nothing.
Nothing. Council business, Gene?
I don't have anything today.
Mr. Reed?
I don't have anything.
All right.
Mayor, just on, I know we're doing the ARPA grant and getting some of the sewage done. So I think I asked last meeting, do we have an anticipation when they'll start coming in, getting some of those? We've got to let things settle, right? But when we're getting some of those areas that we did go into and get them paved.
Have they came up with a date yet on that timeframe?
Jason, is there a time frame and when? Because I'm speaking specifically to Valentine.
Yeah.
I mean, it does look, I went by the other day, it's settling, so there's still, some pretty,
Yeah, they're checking on it every couple of days.
grading that out.
Like I said, we do have a meeting with the contractor tomorrow to get a schedule from him to start making some of the asphalt repairs.
Okay,
So we'll know more tomorrow once we meet with them.
okay, so we'll have an update next meeting then.
Yes.
All right, thank you. That's all I have, Councilman Hoffman.
All right.
Don't have anything?
I'm good. Let's see, public forum, Ms. Warner?
think your previous discussion may have covered, I was asking what was happening with the new code. So the new code is
In the works.
in the works,
It's a
and,
year-long process, started in September.
okay. I just want to make sure that we're protecting the trees and that we make people put trees in when they build new houses. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. Project updates, Jason?
Okay, we have two action items for you guys to consider tonight. The first one is a notice to proceed, the Bay St. Louis well. This includes a component to retrofit the Harry Street well with a casing to seal that off to hopefully increase the production of that well. That'll be the first item of work that they do. The actual well that they're drilling, the new well, is gonna be several months down the road because of the timing and the lack of well drillers in their schedule. So, we're all asking for a notice to proceed. This is about a 600-day contract. It's not gonna take them that long once they actually get on site to start doing the work, but just to work into the timeframe that they need. That's how much time we gave them in the contract. So this will be
What they
basically.
gonna do to
state
Harry
law.
Street?
I'm sorry?
What they gonna do to Harry Street?
They have to seal off the casing, so really what they have to do is take the pump off, the motor off, put in a new casing, seal that with concrete to help, there's some leaks that developing around that case. So they're gonna seal that off, and that's part of the contract.
Okay.
So we have coordinated that with Ronnie, Public Works. We know that well's gonna be down for a certain period of time. We don't anticipate any other issues once they pull the pump off, but it's been years since that pump has been removed, so, we'll see what happens when we take it off.
All right, so we need, a motion to
Motion.
authorize,
Motion.
let's see, motion authorize the notice to proceed for July 2025 for the Bay St. Louis water well supply. Is there a number or a price on that, or
This is just a notice to proceed.
proceed? Okay,
Yes. You've already approved the contract.
gotcha. All right, motion by Councilman Seal, we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hoffman. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 6-0. What's your second?
Thank you. The second authorization is for the Ramonita Street Sewer Improvements Project. This is, we are rerouting a force main along Ramonita, making some improvements to lift station 1, which is on Central. This project is funded through DEQ, and we're recommending their award to Bottom to Top as the low bidder.
And this will be Central and Bay Oaks, Jason?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Jason, do you have with you the dollar amount of that bid?
Yeah, so in our recommendation letter, we have the dollar amount, we have a bid tabulation included. So the total dollar amount that we're recommending, is $479,760.11.
Caitlin, will you just make sure that's,
I'm sorry?
Mike, speak into the mic.
it's under budget?
Yes.
Caitlin, will you make sure that dollar amount is included in the motion?
Yeah, go ahead and give us the dollar amount again,
479,760.11.
Jason.
479,760.11.
60 and 11 cents. All right. Let's see, we need a motion to accept the city engineer's recommendation and award the base bid for the Ramonita Street Sanitary Sewer Improvement Project to the lowest and best bid, bottom to top construction, and execute all contract documents in the amount of $479,760.11.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Davis. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Seal. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 6-0.
Those are the two action items we have for tonight. Be happy to try to address any questions you guys may have on any other project.
How's the Sienna Street project?
We're still waiting on the insurance requirements for the marsh buggy to be worked out. So the company that we want to rent that marsh buggy from to get in that wetland, the wet area, they have some pretty stringent insurance requirements. So once we get that worked out, we'll be able to get it on site and finish those improvements.
What kind of insurance requirements they require?
I don't know. I sent it to my insurance agent, said, figure out how to make it happen.
Make sure this is
Some kind of liability.
Liability insurance on the machine, you know, with our operator on it or something. Something we're not allowed to do as a government entity. So that's why we're going through Jason, trying to go through him.
So it's still gonna back up?
Well, the improvements that we made are gonna work and be adequate, but until we get in and finish cleaning it out, there's always the chance that it's gonna hold water.
All right. Let's see, okay, y'all got anything?
Yeah, just a follow-up, just Jason, with the motion on agenda item 11. So just estimation of start to finish, and we can get that on the Romney Street sanitary sewer improvement. What are we looking at?
The contract's only about a 75-day contract, but this is funded through DEQ, so every step of the way, we have to get their approval before we do anything. So this was just a recommendation to award. They'll have to give us authorization to actually award the contract and execute the contract. So we'll have to come back to the council whenever they give us that authorization. It just depends on how long it takes for
That
them
could
to
be
give
an
us the
easy
authorization.
2 months.
Could be 30 days, 60 days, 75 days. I can't really tell you right now.
And to mitigate, just like we did a couple weeks ago, and again, I credit to Ronnie and his team, when we do have those issues where it backs up, then we're just having to get a secondary pump and then protocol and sanitize and all of that if there is an overflow.
Yep.
All right. And that's all, and that, based on how much comes out, we do have to get that reported, right?
Right. He'll estimate how much sewer backed up.
And will
submit
that
the
help
report.
maybe spur things on, and we show them, hey, DEQ, here's what we had come out of
It
that?
can't hurt.
I mean,
You
I
can
would
tell them
hope
how
that would,
critical it is.
yeah, okay. Maybe that last one would help, right?
Yeah.
All right.
We can coordinate that with them.
Jason, Washington Street pathway improvement, you said the construction is almost complete. What else?
So we came in under budget on that project, so we're looking at some additional work, maybe some landscaping, some additional fencing. So we're working with the contractor on some of those costs, and once we have that finalized, then we'll present that supplemental agreement to the council for approval. So we don't want to close it out just yet or issue substantial completion, because then we can't go back to MDOT and add any additional work.
Okay.
And we did get some costs from the contractor. I think we got it yesterday. So once we review that, we'll be able to make a recommendation to the administration, to the council, to move forward with it.
In the sidewalks, going toward, right there in front of Mr. Willie Acker's house, when are they gonna put that? They got some grates they need to put in there. I think 2 of them.
There's 2 of them. They had to special order those, so as soon as they come in, they'll have those installed. I'll
Okay.
check with them tomorrow on the schedule for those.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else got anything? No? Thank you, Jason.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President, can we go back to number 7 and see?
Yes, sir. Okay, go ahead, Gene, you wanna say something?
So I'd like to make a motion, I'd like to make a motion to follow planning and zoning's recommendation and approve the application for variance of 9-foot 9-inch setback to the, resulting in a 10-foot 3-inch setback to the rear yard of the addition to the existing dwelling submitted by Randy Young located at 135 DeMontlinson Avenue, parcel number 149F-0-29-29-209.000, approved 5-0 by planning and zoning.
Okay, we have a motion to approve, to follow plan and zoning's recommendation, approve application for variance at 9-foot 9 inches, resulting in a 10-foot 3-inch setback to the rear yard for an addition to the existing dwelling submitted by Randy Young, located at 135 DeMontlinson Avenue. That is parcel number 149F-0-29-209.000, approved 5-0. We have a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Councilwoman Davis. Any discussion?
Yeah, just discussion in the future. Can we get this before the day of the meeting that we come here? It'd be very helpful if we had this beforehand.
What do you want?
The updated letter from
The updated
Jeremy.
letter was great. Jamie did a very good job outlining this.
Yeah.
But this was done 2 weeks ago. This would've been nice to have, because again, I'm having to
We
scramble,
made
try to
the
listen.
same thing we've been doing throughout the year. You
So-
want extra?
I think you're
just ask.
misunderstanding the point.
No,
It's
So,
saying
guys,
we
let me,
did it
hold on,
earlier.
just let me say, there is, the administration has written letters and they've stated that there was hardship. Did they go by every one of these things? No. Because as in this situation, planning and zoning went with it. It's not checking all of your boxes. If you put this letter as it's written today in your minutes and you as a council approve it, it's gonna be very hard for me to defend in court because I have no wiggle room. So once you spell all this out, the recommendation they're going through, the council or the administration is pointing to your ordinance and saying, which part of your ordinance it's not meeting. And then if you go to approve it, makes it very hard for me to defend. So that, just
So y'all are
keep that in
recommending
mind.
denial?
Well, that's what the letter states.
Yeah.
Based on the hardships, the legalities. But we're working on that, right? Hence the reason why we're working on that with Iran and some of these zoning ordinance.
Well, that is why you're working on it, but that is not what your zoning ordinance says. So sometimes you have to look at the big picture of things and think about why things are written in a certain way that they are. Because when you want such specifics that everything is spelled out in black and white, that can be good, but it can also be bad.
So this is not
So-
part of the official minutes.
That is a public record, that's a city document. I'm happy to have any of those detailed conversations with you, Kyle, but I would recommend them not in a public meeting.
Again, Jeremy did a great job outlining some of this information, but it's good to have ahead of time so we're not having to scramble and read it. That's the point I was trying to get to this.
And again, when all of this is put in writing, it's public document.
Okay. Any other discussion? You wanna vote the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Nay. My motion carries 4-2. Let's see. Okay, city clerk's report. Motion to approve docket of claims number 24-019 dated May 6, 2025, in the amount of $660,236. Anybody have any questions on it?
Nope.
I just wanted to ask, we got something with, I think we're paying something for, sex trafficking.
Hopefully against it.
What is that about?
It's for our tickets and all, a portion of that goes to some of that.
You say we have tickets?
Do you know what number it is? So I can
Citations.
find it?
Is that under,
It's,
Department of Justice.
the Mississippi Attorney General?
Yeah, we send all, I mean,
Yeah.
every ticket we write, we send back to the state.
We
for-
send
We get
money
very
to
little of
the
our ticket
state.
money. They break it up into different.
When you write a ticket,
We don't
it's
get much of it.
statutorily, yeah, you don't get, so if you have a $200 fee, a very small portion of that's actually given to the city of Bay St. Louis. Most of it statutorily is dedicated to certain funds that goes back to actually the state of Mississippi. So depending on what ticket was written and what allocation the statutes has, so once we get that money, we collect it from the court, then the city has to push it back out through the state to certain departments. I can't tell you what they all are on the top of my head, but I do know a very small portion of a ticket the city actually gets to keep in our
Unless it's a
own
city
fund.
ordinance, we get
Unle-
very little of it.
Correct. Now, if it's a city ordinance that's violated, the city of Bay St. Louis gets to keep that. But if it's a state statute that is violated and written, like drinking and driving or speeding, most of it goes
So
back to the
basically,
state.
our officers wrote a ticket for this particular thing?
Probably not sex trafficking. If I had to guess,
Human-
that's
Human trafficking.
human trafficking. It's
Yeah.
probably in a portion of one of these tickets, a certain amount goes to some state fund to eliminate human trafficking. If I had to, I mean, that's complete speculation, but that's what I would.
We settle usually every month with everything we need to turn in.
Okay. All right. That was my only question.
And this isn't a huge expense, but I was just curious, what, the pest waste eliminator, BFT, LP, what is that?
The what?
Pet waste eliminator?
Pet waste eliminator.
New bags for the parks.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
New stations for the parks.
Okay.
With,
Disposal.
I guess we went through, I was gonna ask, we can do this first.
me, go ahead.
No, I was gonna just ask a question about the, MML conference. Have we started registering for that as of yet?
I've been seeing emails go out. Yeah, that's registration's open for that now, and it will be in July this year. Because with the election, so it's usually in June, but then every 4 years when the new term begins, they push it to July so your new people can attend.
Okay. That's all.
That's it? Anybody got anything else? All right, I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion, Councilman Seal.
Second.
Second, Councilman Reed. Any discussion? Go ahead and vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 6-0. I see motion docket, approved docket of claims 25-020, special dated May 6, 2025.
Motion is transfer money.
Second.
Let's see, discussion, what y'all transferring the money for?
31,456.24 is transfer and tax revenue received for your bond payment in 20. And then the second is transferring from Harbor C&M to debt payment for Harbor, $383,000, which is the payment on the loan. So it's budgeted as well.
And which payment is that?
That's for the 2022 Harbor loan.
All right, so that's principal and interest?
Yes, it's an annual payment required to make.
And where do the funds come from?
As part of our budget, that we have it through the
Okay, which
CMB.
account it's coming from to go to
It's
the?
going out of your Harbor C&M into the debt service fund.
Okay,
You've got to have a separate debt service fund for your bonds that you pay it out of.
all right. So we got a total amount of
414.
$114,556.24. So need a motion to approve docket of claims 25-020 dated May 6, 2025, in the amount of $414,456.24.
Motion.
Motion, Councilman Seal.
Second.
Second, Councilman Hoffman. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 6-0. And let's see, we have another one.
Your last one's playing the election workers. We just had not received it by the time we cut off the docket, so we want to make sure they get paid tomorrow.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve docket of claims 25-021 special election dated May 6, 2025, in the amount of $5,567.00.
Motion.
Motion, Councilman Seal.
Second.
Second, Councilman Reed. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, so motion carries 6-0. Consent agenda.
No issues.
Can we
Anybody
pull,
want
yeah, I'd like to pull out 17, 18, 19, just vote on those separately.
17, 18?
It's related to the improvements for the flock camera
Okay.
system.
Oh, what about 20?
No.
17 Butler Snow.
Yeah,
Sorry, it
wait,
must be.
yeah, that's, I'm sorry.
18, 19, and 20.
Okay.
18,
there must be
19,
one more.
20.
Yeah, 18, 19, 20.
18 is a 2-year agreement we have with our flock cameras and all, it'd be totally reimbursed, but only way they'll reimburse it is if we pay the full amount, or if not, we pay half of it this year, it won't be till next year when we pay the other half. So that's the reimbursement for our flock cameras and everything for that. What's the rest of it?
When the
What?
18 and 19 are strictly spreading the signed executed documents.
It's documents that's already
Number
been approved.
20 is approving the
approved.
payment.
Yeah, 18, 19 is approved.
Yes, correct.
20 is the one that for the
Is the
reimbursement.
approval of the payment.
My numbers.
Okay.
And so just by the terms of this, the feature and description, any statewide or nationwide agency has access to this, correct? Up to 30, it stays with us 30 days, but then it can be stored infinite amount of time, right? Do we have that in this amendment? Well, we've already talked about this, so I mean, I just asked that we go ahead and vote on this separately.
Okay. So bring out 18, 19, and 20 separate.
Yeah.
Okay. So a motion on
Motion.
consent agenda.
Motion.
Hold on.
No.
Motion to approve consent agenda items 15, 16, 17, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. Anybody got any, you got a motion? Steve?
Motion.
Motion, Councilman Seal.
Second.
Second, Councilman Hoffman. Any discussion on those items? Go ahead and vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 6-0. Now we have item 18. Motion to spread and, the signed MS Office of Homeland Security Grant Program Sub-Recipient Grant Award Agreement, grant number 23 L.E. Edward 112 in the amount of $100,000 for a 2-year agreement for flock camera system.
Motion.
Motion, Councilman Seal.
Second.
Second, Councilman Hoffman. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion carries 4-2. Okay, item 19, motion to spread the fully executed agreement with Flock Group, Inc. for the Flock camera system for a 2-year term in the amount of $94,250.
Motion.
Motion, Councilman Seal.
Second.
Second, Councilman Hoffman. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion carries 4-2. And number 20, motion to approve payment to Flock Group, Inc. for the Flock camera system for a 2-year term in the amount of $94,250, which is being reimbursed by the grant from Mississippi Homeland Security. And again, that's grant number 23L Edward E. 112.
Motion.
Motion, Councilman Seal.
Second.
Second, Councilman Hoffman. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion carries 4-2. And going to spreaded reports. Motion to spread cash balances, wage and hours report, detailed grant revenue report, RG revenue report, revenue expense report, April harbor report, and April HR report.
Motion.
Motion, Councilman Seal.
Second.
Second, Councilman Hoffman. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 6-0. Any attorney's report?
I received the executed settlement agreement today for our harbor, so you will see that probably on your consent agenda, just to spread it officially on our minutes, and hopefully by that time, all the money will be hit the bank account, so that's all I got.
Thank you. No need for executive session. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion, Councilman Hoffman.
Second.
Second, Councilwoman Davis. Vote the motion.
Aye.
Yeah.